What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to discuss the new PlayStation Plus model. I got a lot of people been asking me to talk about, my impressions of it, kind of do a review of it. So I have the highest edition. I have premium, and I had to pay, the abbreviated amount of money. I think I had to pay like $12, $13 because my subscription actually ends in September, in which I'm gonna have to pay $120. This is all U.S. dollars, $120 in September. So I have the highest edition. I've taken a look at what it has to offer in terms of the games. Now, I haven't really touched the games, but I've seen them all. I think I have a pretty good knowledge of gaming in general to be able to say, hey, these are some like good hits, or like these are a little bit weaker, just so you guys are kind of aware of my situation. Here's what I'll say about this service, all right? It really depends on the person, and that is such a cop-out answer, and I understand, if anybody gets mad at that, but I truly believe that really for any subscription service in general, I think that's very fair to say, even if you look at Game Pass, if you look at, like entertainment ones like Netflix and Hulu and stuff, it depends on the person. For me, I play a lot of games. I have played a lot of games historically over the last, specifically, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Like over the last, let's say decade, I've tried to play a lot of games. I haven't beaten too many games up until the last 3 years. Last 3 years, I've been on a tear, and I've beaten plenty of games. But I've played a lot. So for me, looking at the lists, plural in this case, right? Because you have the PS3 list, you have the PS4 list, you got even some PS5 stuff, you got game trials, you got PS1 and PS2, right? The classics. Looking at them, a lot of them I've played. So to me, a lot of it is going back. If I ever wanted to go back to play these games, is there value there? It's a very mixed bag for me. It's a very mixed bag. I've been pretty consistent that I think PS Plus Extra, which is that middle tier, it's $100. So again, US, right? $100, and then the premium is $120, so it's $20 more. And the difference between the two is simply game trials and the classics, as of right now, the PS1, PS2 games. That's the difference of $20. Now, it's tough because I don't really know if that extra $20 is worth it. At the same time, $20 a year is not really all that much, so it's almost like, well, why not tack on that extra $20? What I hope for this service is that we get games added really quickly every single month. I guess, I'm recording this before, July starts. I'm recording this actually on my birthday on June 28th. We haven't gotten to July yet, but I'm really hoping every month they can add like at least 5 or so games on every category. So like 5 more PS4 games, 5 more PS3 games, 5 more classics from the PS1, PS2, PSP, from that era, even PS Vita I would like, right? If you can do that, add 5 or so of each category, so you have maybe 15 to 20 games you're adding every month. If you can do that, I think this service can actually be really good. One of Sony's biggest strengths is their history. They have a lot of games dating all the way back to the original PlayStation. They have a lot of games that are incredibly, incredibly good, and they need to showcase them, because beyond that, this service, it doesn't have, it's not Game Pass. The idea that this ever was going to be, or if anybody is still calling this like a Game Pass killer, is hilarious to me. Not saying this is bad, because I actually don't think this subscription service is bad, but to even compare it to Game Pass is actually very stupid in my opinion, because they're not even close to the same. They're not meant to be the same thing. They're almost meant to be kind of partners, where it's like you may want to have both of them, because you can experience the new stuff all on, and obviously Xbox has backwards compatibility, and they do a lot of stuff with their past as well. But I mean, like a Guardians of the Galaxy may appear. Now, funny enough, Guardians of the Galaxy is also on this service, but like a Life is Strange True Colors, or when Microsoft does new games, Halo Infinite, or going in the future, Fable, Starfield, Everwild. These games, you don't have that. It's not going to happen on PlayStation, but again, that's not the point. I'm trying to like nail every category. The classics is way too barren right now. There are some good ones, but there's simply, I think there's like 20 or 25 of them. There's not enough. There's not enough old-time games. Not even necessarily like I would go back to play them, because I really don't know if I would. I just don't have the time, but it would be nice to have them. The PS3 era is good. It's not amazing. There's some notable like They have Resistance 3, but they don't have 1 and 2. I know people have talked about Sly. They actually took Sly off. Sly was on PS Now. Now Sly is gone. There's, I'm sure, many other examples of that where it's like, well, you're just oddly missing some very specific games I think you should have. Also, it's all through streaming. I hate that. Personally, I despise that. And I always have, it's almost like a PTSD thing, because when and I've said this story before, but for my new viewers, when PS Now first came out, I was living with my parents. Obviously, it was a long time ago, and my internet connection, even when I still go to my parents' house, you know, to visit over the summer, the internet's not very good, okay? So I have PTSD from the first time I played PS Now. It didn't work. Like, I literally, my internet wasn't strong enough to work. Now, I think my internet's good enough to work now because it's the highest I can get in my area, but I still have, like, I just don't trust it. I don't trust playing games. And that's me. That's a me problem. I'm more than willing to say that. But that's something I've always been afraid of, is like playing games on streaming. So while the PS3 category is solid, they're missing some like notable things that I think should be, and I think will be, added over time. I just don't know why they took them off in the first place. The game like Resistance never was on there, so obviously you got to get 1 and 2. But not just that, but then like the streaming part, I wish they could come up with, and I think the rumor is they are, right, coming up with the way of maybe making it so you can download these games. Because when you come to, really, PS4 is awesome. I mean, there are so many games from the last, 6 or so years of development of these games. There's so many of them. There's a lot, and there's a lot of really quality games on there that I think are worth it, especially even if you played them already, you want to go back, or I've missed some of them. Like, I was like, oh, cool, they have this game. I was always looking to play this game. Now I can. That's good. I mean, there's really nothing wrong there. The game trials are cool. The game trials, I think, have a lot of potential going forward, just not for me. The game trials, to me, is that situation of personal experience, like where you are as a person. Like, for me, I play a majority of like the big new games that come out. All right, that's just me. That's where I am in my life. I mean, there was a time where I definitely did not do that. So for those people, say you only get games for like Christmas or your birthday, which, trust me, I did that for a long time. If that's you, well, maybe you have this service and maybe you can play the first 2 hours of God of War Ragnarok. I mean, that's cool. I will never use that feature because I plan on, you know what I mean? Like, it's just who you are. I will never really use the game trials feature for the majority of games. I'm sure there will be some games that I'll skip over, or maybe I'm just not interested in, and I can use game trials. If game trials really expands to like 80-90% of games that come out, and there's like a game trial for, I think it could be awesome. And I do think I would then use it for, every so often. And then again, the PS5 stuff, obviously, the PS5 stuff is very just kind of mirrored with what we already had for that PS Plus collection when the PS5 first came out. They're good. They're definitely great games. It's just, we already kind of had it. So it's a 50-50 thing. I don't do review scores. I don't even know how to like rate a subscription service. That seems weird to me. So I'm not going to do that. But I mean, I try to break down every part to it, so you should know kind of how I feel. It's solid. It's solid. Do I feel like I'm getting $120 worth a year? No. But that's just kind of the person, again, the experience that I'm at. I from time to time, I may play a PS3 or PS4 game, but am I going to play like 30, 40, 50 of them a year? No, I'm not, because I'm trying to play like 30 new games to come. There's like 30 games coming out this October, right? I'm going to be playing all of those. I'm not going to have time to play a PS1 classic, but it depends on who you are. If you don't play a lot of these games, and that's the thing. I mean, I see that all the time in comments of people saying, hey, I'm getting like one game in the fall. That's it. And it's like, wow, I can't actually believe that, but that's fine. Well, those kind of people that are only going to buy one game, if they have this subscription service, they have like 800 games, right? So it really just depends on where you are. I think there is some real strong, quality games here. I think more need to be added, especially early day PlayStation games. Again, I may never go back to them, but you got to keep adding to that one specifically. You got to add to that. And then even PS3. It's also, I'm more familiar with the PS3 era. So like not having a Sly Cooper, the remaster collection is like, that's a big one. Or even Sly Thieves in Time. They don't have Sly 4 on there either. Like having that not be there is annoying, because like I know it existed. There's a lot of PS1, PS2 games that are definitely not on this list because there's like 20 of them, but I don't know what they are because I played very limited like the early Crash Bandicoot game. Can you bring Crash Bash? That would be actually my #1 want. If you can bring me Crash Bash, I'll say the subscription service is worth $500 a year. I will do that. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. So what's your experience with the subscription service so far? Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on, so you know when all these videos go up. If you want to follow me or support me anywhere else, all my social media links are in the description below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.